If you're watching this video, it's because you've got one of these bad boys sitting behind you ready to be assembled. We're gonna get through this video and teach you how to assemble this thing properly and safely so that your little ripper can have the time of their lives. First step, pop open the box and take out all the contents. How's that for camera magic? So your next step is to take away all the protective packaging. To do that, you can use scissors, or in this case, I'm gonna use side snips. All right, so now we've got all the protective packaging off. We've got the front wheel disconnected. I've gone ahead and opened the white box, which contains the battery charger. And for now, we're gonna set this out of our way. Our next step is going to be to look at the small parts box. There's tools inside of this box that will help you with assembly. So let's go ahead and open that. So inside the box, we've got the foot peg cover. We've got the tools, 2 Allen wrenches. We've got a couple of bolts and a couple of washers that you'll need for the foot peg mount. Comes with a spare fuse, not needed for assembly, but just to keep for future needs, and then the battery. All right, now it's time to install the handlebars. When these bikes are packaged, the forks and the stems are turned around backwards so that they fit into the boxes better. So you'll need to turn this around, and this is real simple. Just take it, spin it around this way. You'll know that it's right because these tabs will be facing forward. So next we're gonna take the larger of the 2 Allen wrenches and we're gonna remove the 4 stem bolts on the front of the stem. All right, now we're gonna take the handlebar and we're gonna place it into the stem. And what's important here is that these cables, you'll see 2 cables come out on the right side of the bike. They stay on the right side of the stem. The cable that comes out on the left side stays on the left side of the stem. And they're gonna go underneath the handlebar so that when the handlebar is installed into the stem, that they are in front. Now we're going to take the stem faceplate. We're gonna put that on and we're going to begin to thread these 4 bolts back in. All right, now that I've gotten all 4 bolts started, I'm just gonna set these handlebars backwards just a little bit on the stem, and I'm gonna get these things tightened down until the space, the gap between the stem faceplate and the stem on the top and the bottom are equal. So now I've gotten the 4 bolts threaded in until the gap on the top of the stem and the bottom are about the same. I'm gonna go ahead and stand these handlebars up. I like to move them to start with where the handlebar is parallel with the forks. You can always adjust this forward or backwards to match whatever's most comfortable for you, but that's just a good starting point. The other thing that we want to make sure is that this handlebar is centered in the stem. So basically what you're trying to do is look at the gap on either side of the stem here and just make sure that it looks equal. Once you've got that, once you've got the handlebar positioned in the right place based on your preferences, then we're gonna come back in and we're gonna tighten these bolts up. All right, next up we're gonna take and install the foot peg cover. So it's really simple, it can only go on one way. You're gonna take this, slide it onto the foot pegs. You're gonna see that the holes will line up with pre-drilled holes beneath. We're gonna take one of our bolts here. We're gonna pop on a lock washer, and then you're gonna put the regular washer, which is flat all the way around. You're gonna take that along with our smaller Allen wrench, and we're gonna begin to thread these in. If there's any resistance, then you might wanna back it out and try again so that you don't cross thread this. Once we've done that on one side, we're gonna do it for the other. All right, so once we've got these 2 bolts tight, then we're done with the foot pegs and we'll move on to the front wheel. Down here in the fork, there's a plastic brace. We're gonna pop that thing out, karate chop. All right, next up is the wheel. So there is a right way to do this, and the easiest way to tell, there's actually 2 ways. You can tell that the angle of these mags are facing in the same direction as the rear wheel that was pre-installed. And also, the valve stem will be facing the right side of the bicycle if you were on the bike itself. So we're gonna go ahead and back these axle nuts off and pull both of the washers towards the outside. We don't have to back them all the way off so that they fall off, but you just want enough space to get it into the fork legs. Now we're gonna lift the front of the bike up and we're going to slip the axle inside the fork dropouts here. And the important thing is that these 2 washers are on the outside of the fork tab. All right, so next up, we're gonna take this inside washer, which has a tab on it, And that tab is designed to fit inside the bottom hole that's drilled into this side of the fork leg. And once you've got that in place, you're gonna go ahead and tighten this axle nut down. You can get a hand tight to start, and we're gonna do the same thing to the other side. Make sure this tab washer fits inside that bottom hole. That's a very important safety feature. And now that we've got the front wheel installed, we're gonna get our tool, and we're gonna tighten these axle nuts down. Now that we got the front wheel installed, the next step is just to go over the bike, make sure all the other bolts and nuts are tightened. You can adjust the seat height to do that. You're gonna grab your larger Allen wrench. This silver bolt down here on the seat clamp can be loosened. You can adjust the seat to whatever height you need. Once you get it straight, you're gonna tighten this back. All right, now we've gotten everything tightened down, it's time to install the battery. We're gonna grab that, we're gonna slide it in until we hear an audible click, and we're ready to rip.